Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Squint615. I'd like to thank you all for joining me and being a part of the new channel. Shout out to Chad Arms TV, chadarmstv.com. A huge part of this is my best friend. He's inspired me to and encouraged me to finally start my own channel. As far as content goes, there's no telling what you guys may find on this channel. I uploaded a song earlier this week that I had never any intentions of ever putting out, and now you guys got first listen to it, and it's out for the world to hear. So it sort of leads us to this first video that I'm really going to post for the channel. So a lot of you may know by now, I hope that you would know by now, that I'm the host of I Got Some Shit to Say, the podcast. Currently, at the time that we're uploading this, we are 83 episodes done with I Got Some Shit to Say, the podcast. We started the podcast July 26, 2021. And currently it's June 17th, 2022. So we're coming up on the 1 year anniversary. So those 83 episodes have been a continuous grind. You guys have seen us have some phenomenal guests, great topics and discussions. Myself with Chad Arms, Lex Top Dollar, Leroy Biggs, 5'3" the Giant, amongst anyone and everyone else who's been involved with that show along the way. I thank you because it means the world to me. It's everything I thought it would be, and where we're headed with that, sky's the limit. Enough said. But before I actually had I Got Some Shit to Say, the podcast going the way you guys know it, it was initially just an idea for a podcast. And when I had the idea, I started whipping up a logo and worked on getting the name for the show, etc. And I started reaching out to a lot of the sources I know now that you guys have probably already seen on the show, telling them, like, look, I got a podcast coming. And when it comes, I'm going to need you to be ready. I need you to pull up, shoot the shit with me. Everybody, of course, is like, no problem. But some of those conversations went different directions with people that I didn't really know directly. Perfect example. Yellow Wolf. Reached out to Yellow Wolf before I even had a fucking show. Now, it's a little different, but perfect example. Another example was a gentleman named Jon Kilmer. Now, Jon Kilmer is best friends with an artist known as Mike, formerly known as Mike Stud. Now, anybody that knows Squints, myself, knows that I'm a huge Mike Stud fan. I have been for almost 10 or 11 years. Like, it seems like since the beginning of his career, I've been tuned in with this guy and have become such a fan of him. I felt obligated to reach out to someone on his team and tell them about this podcast. Now, granted, at the time, I still had no podcast. It was just a lot of shit talking, manifestation at its finest. But I reached out to Jon Kilmer. Jon Kilmer is the co-host of Mike's podcast and produced a lot of his videos. He's done beats. He's just a really talented individual. Not to mention he's fucking hilarious. But I've grown familiar with his character along the way based off a show they had on the Esquire network, which is powered by Bravo TV. It was like a network thing. It was called This Is Mike. This is Mike Stud. I can't remember. I don't know. But I reached out to Jon Kilmer like, hey, man, I know you don't know me. My name's Squints, yada, yada. But I got this podcast coming. And actually, I think I worded it to Jon Kilmer like, hey, man, I got this podcast. And I'm a huge fan, and I would love for you to come on the show. I'm thinking that, Kilmer's probably not even going to read the message. And if he did, we would probably schedule something a little further out, whatever that looked like. For whatever reason, Jon Kilmer immediately responded with, sure, let's do it. When? And I was like a deer in the headlights. I didn't know what to fucking say. None of this shit was set up like this. Y'all will see in the video. It's literally the shittiest webcam money could buy. The audio is shit. It's all put together on a whim. And the person you guys sit here and see me as, Squint615, this is me, okay? And y'all know me well enough to know that this is nothing fabricated when we sit down and do this show. This is just all our personalities, and it's how we rock together. But when you guys watch this video right here, this is me doing the very first episode of I Got Some Shit to Say, the podcast. interviewing someone I've never fucking met that I was so anxious to meet. I was damn near starstruck. I couldn't believe the scenario even took place. And keep in mind, when I sat down to interview Jon Kilmer, I really didn't have a fucking podcast. Since then, me and Jon have continued to be friends, luckily. And I've came clean and told him, look, bro, that wasn't even a podcast. We have a podcast now, and it's nothing like the interview I did with Jon Kilmer. But I've stayed in contact with him over the years, or over the last year, and that guy has turned into be one of the most motivating, people in my life. Like that guy continues to stride. His stock continues to go up. He has a brand new podcast on Spotify only called The Power Hour with Jon Kilmer. Phenomenal show. It's a Spotify exclusive. Y'all tap the fuck in. I'll make sure I get some links and put them in the description below. But other than that, the YNK Podcast. If you want a podcast that's really going to help your mental state, it's coming from a great fucking artist that does great fucking music that really knows how to talk to people like myself. And I was literally lured into their content from the beginning. I've been hooked. I had, luckily, a year ago to meet and interview a guy named Jon Kilmer of the YNK Podcast for thehomies.com. I'm going to quit fucking rambling. Again, look. I appreciate y'all tuning the fuck in. It's Squint615. My YouTube channel's popping. Tell a friend, man. Chad Arms TV. I love you, bro. Sky's the limit, man. Y'all check this shit out. This shit's old as fuck. I can't believe I'm letting y'all see it. Yeah, man. Very first episode, unreleased. I got some shit to say to podcast featuring Jon Kilmer of the YNK Podcast. Y'all ready for this? You ready? I appreciate y'all, man. Check 1 2 1 2. I got some shit to say to podcast. We are here. I, of course, am your host, Squint615. Man, if you ain't never seen me before, too bad. If you want to see me some more, hit that like, link, subscribe, all that good shit, man. Without y'all support, I ain't nothing, so I need that. So with that being said, man, let's get into this week's episode. This week right here for sure is, I can't believe this shit happened to me so early into this shit because y'all know I'm new to this podcast game, but I'm going to go strong at it. But me personally, I listen to podcasts nonstop. One of the ones I listen to the most is called the YNK Podcast. YNK stands for You Never Know. And it's put out there by my personal favorite artist in the world. He's formerly known as Mike Stud. He now goes by Mike. That's a whole different discussion, man. But dude shit is dope as fuck to where I started paying attention to how they push their brand and the way they market themselves, etc. But he's surrounded by a small group of guys, man, that they all got these dope characteristics and dope roles they play as far as the brand and marketing his music goes. But one of those cats' names is Jon Kilmer. Jon Kilmer stood out to me from the moment I sort of like started figuring it all out or whatever. But that cat right there stood out to me individually because I knew he was like the brains behind the visuals and getting some of the things out there to the public, et cetera. I don't know, man. The whole arithmetic to how I got involved with their shit is crazy because I'm just not like that. I don't have a lot of artists that I would just go fucking fan crazy over, and he's definitely one I have done that in the past. But it was dope as hell to reach out to Jon Kilmer because I know he's so close to Mike. But aside from that, he's the co-host and producer of the podcast I just spoke about. So with that being said, they've been on television. They had a show, a good little run on the Esquire network, which is part of the Bravo. And it was called This Is Mike. If you ain't seen it, you can definitely check that out on YouTube. I'll try to post it in some links or some shit so y'all can check it out. But long story short, man, with them having one of the dopest podcasts that I listen to personally, it was super, super dope and valuable to me, honestly, just to pick dude's brain a little bit, man, because not only from a fan's perspective, but from like, hey, man, I'm trying to do this podcast thing. So with that being said, man, it's the kid Squint615. I hope y'all enjoy this, man, because it really meant a lot to me to sit and just talk to this cat, man. But I got some shit to say. Y'all already know what it is, man. So with that being said, I want to thank y'all again for tuning in. I hope y'all enjoy this interview, man. There's plenty more to come, more content, more all of that, man. So just please, please, please stay tuned. Please stay tuned and bear with your boy because it's a one-man show over here, man, and I'm going at it. So with that being said, man, I got some shit to say, man. Hope y'all enjoy this. Jon Kilmer, you ready? What's Johnny?
What's up, dude?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. You prefer if I hold my camera this way?
Whatever makes you look sexier, my friend.
Perfect.
However you feel. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, world's still spinning. That's about all I can applaud right now, man.
Yeah, man.
I really appreciate you coming on, John. I really do, man. For y'all that don't know, this cat right here, he is a star amongst stars in my eyes. The cat's been going strong with a real strong team. This cat right here is a videographer, movie director. He's a TV star. He's been on TV on the television series This Is Mike on the Bravo Network. He's a producer. He's co-host of my favorite podcast, the YNK Podcast, which was recently mentioned in the New York Times. I saw y'all getting a little love there.
Yeah.
The real inventor of frat rap is here with me today. This cat, y'all don't even know, man. He was doing it before it was being done. So without further ado, formerly known as J Kill, we're gonna rock with him as Kilmer the Filmer, Jon Kilmer from For the Homies, man. How you doing, man?
What a motherfucking intro,
dude. I was aiming high. Bro. I really was. So y'all got to understand, man. Like Squints is sitting here, like shaky a little bit, man. Like I've been rocking with y'all for a long time, man. Since like 2014, I think it was. Whenever the Closer video dropped.
Yeah, that was right around then. Yeah.
So and it's funny because I know you came in contact with Mike initially through some like website, like like the bootlegger sites where you can get the mixtapes early and leak shit and all that. And I was trying so hard to remember the name of the site. And it was like Leak Jones or some shit. I can't.
Good music all day.
Yeah, there it is. There you go. But the one I stumbled on was the Leak Jones or something. It looked like Casey Jones from Ninja Turtles. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, I stumbled on it. And I knew baseball was involved, and that's what sent me down the rabbit hole. And the rest is history, man. I've been rocking with y'all a long time. I love y'all's whole thing and what y'all got going, man. And now y'all getting close to home. So, because if you didn't see my profile or anything, man, we're doing this out of Nashville. I know you guys are getting pretty tight in this area, man. So
we're getting close, yeah.
Yeah, getting close, man. So what's that looking like, man? You guys looking to settle down here? Or I know you guys are out in Arizona right now, right?
Yeah. Arizona's kind of like the interim, like before we hit Nashville. I know we're kind of looking at houses, so we're taking our time, making sure we find the right house. So we'll see. Hopefully it's in a couple months. Gotcha.
How you feel about that personally, man? You ready for it? Or?
Yeah, dude. I'm an East Coast boy, and it's being closer to the Northeast is going to be nice because right now doing that flight from LA or Arizona back to Boston, that's like a pain in the ass. So it makes it a lot harder to see my family and shit like that. So it'll be nice for a change of scenery. Nice to get closer to the East Coast and nice to check out. You guys consider yourself the South, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah,
man.
I'm excited to be in the fucking South, man.
Yeah, it's a different vibe. Like, because when I talk about like the West Coast, it's kind of like the same. I have sort of the same response because I've only been there a handful of times at this time of my life. But at the same time, when I go to the West Coast, man, I'm like, God damn, I'm supposed to be here. So it's like kind of ass backwards, but I'm born and raised here, so it's kind of all I know is the South. So when I get over there, it's kind of the same thing. It changes the scenery, so to speak. But
yeah,
the vibes are way different on the West Coast, man.
Way different.
But during the pandemic and everything else, man, it's kind of the same across the board, probably.
Yeah.
So what you got going, man? So I know the YNK podcast is huge, man. I'm a huge fan of it. I love where you guys are going with that, man. I tune in every other week, just like it is now, and the Stevens Mingle, like you guys just got so much cool shit going, man. I love how y'all's brand is represented. And to give you a little bit about me, man, I used to be a hip hop artist. Like I'm grown, I'm a silver fox myself, so I had to sit on the sidelines, and now I'm just sort of like the toughest critic in the city. Like a lot of guys here local send me their records, and I sort of go over them, critique them a little bit behind the scenes, and then watch them flourish elsewhere, do other things. But I've always had a hand in how to market a brand and how to like do things and the different avenues for revenue, so to speak. But when I caught y'all's wave, I think that's what attracted me to it so much, is just the different angles that you guys would take from the Chug Buds to the merch, and it would change every quarter or so. It seemed like the merch would flop and would still sell the fuck out. So I just love it, man. I think the whole brand is cool. But when you guys started the podcast, it seemed to like, I don't want to say steer off course, but it just took a different direction. Because, I mean, given the pandemic and everything else, it gives you guys the opportunity to reach your fans and
continuously put out the message that you guys are so good at doing, man. So I know you have a lot to do with that podcast. You produced it, correct?
Yeah, man. I mean, a podcast that size, generally you have like at least, 3 to 5 to 10 people working on it. And I kind of wear a lot of hats where, I'm on it sometimes. I produce the video recording of it. I produce the audio recording of it. I edit it all at the end, both audio and video. So it's a lot of work, man. But, we're about a year and a half under our belts, and it's just something I've kind of become accustomed to. And I personally love it.
Yeah, I could only imagine, man. It's fucking fun, man. It's awesome. And like, it's funny because I've watched some of the podcasts you've been on recently, or like some of the interviews, or just some of your personal shit that you've posted and stuff. And I related to you so much, man. It was crazy because when I caught Mike's vibe and how the music he was putting out, I obviously was a fan, and that attracted me initially. But when I caught a glimpse of Kilmer, let me tell you about Kilmer. So they had this fucking banging ass webtoon series called Touring's Boring. And I saw it was taken down. That's fucking bogus. You need to put that shit on DVD or something.
Well, we're gonna re-release it for the fans. Don't worry.
Yeah, because guys, when I tell y'all the footage of this Touring's Boring shit, there was a shit ton of episodes. How many episodes do y'all have of that?
Like 40 or 50 or something like that.
And it's everyone just one after another is ridiculous. But that was my introduction to Kilmer, the gentleman we have with us here today. And it was the cat's. He's a crazy motherfucker, man. There's to sum it all up, there's nuts, man. It's a great watch, and it bummed me the fuck out because when I started reaching out to you, I immediately started referencing back to that, and that's when I realized it wasn't there no more. And I'm like, so either these guys got a plan or somebody's getting pissed or something.
We got a plan. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, man. I'm sure you do. So what else can I touch on, man? There's so much to cover with you, dude. Like I've looked forward to like talking to you for so long, and then like all I did was reach out to the cat. Like the dude's humble as hell. He's cool as shit. I literally just hit the DM. It's like, hey man, I'm trying to do a podcast, be cool like you guys. So can you help me out with that? And he's like, sure, man. When you got time? So it's like it was that easy. But so tell them a little bit about you, man. Like how you got. I don't know how long I got you for. I know you're probably busy and shit.
As long as you need me, man. Don't
tell me that, man. Don't tell me that shit. But tell them a little bit about you, man, because as crazy as it sounds, is a lot of cats here. And as much as I told you, I'm sort of like in the music scene, so to speak. I put so much people up on you guys. It's crazy. It's crazy. And now it's coming to fruition because I've said it so much to so many local cats with big hats. And now they're starting to see y'all fucking coming through the wave a little bit. So it's making more sense. But tell the people that don't know that's watching now, man, a little bit about you and how you hooked up with Mike and all the movies and all that shit, man. Just give me a little rundown of Kilmer real quick, dude.
All right, cool, man. I'd say my biggest downfall is I'm too fucking ambitious, man. I have too many interests, and I'm trying to pursue all of them, which has been I don't want to say downfall, but it's been like my biggest
he's a juggler.
My biggest obstacle, I guess. I grew up. I loved filmmaking, and I loved music more than anything.
Yeah.
Since as long as I can remember, since I was 12, 13 years old. And ever since then, even up until college, I'm like, shit, I was a film major and I studied that, but I always had music in my back pocket. I was always the guy with the recording studio in his dorm room or, in his fraternity house before even that was popular, this is, and I'm sure, cause we were probably around the same age that, when you're in like the mid 2000s, it's not common to have a recording studio set up like in your bedroom or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like now it's super common, but back then it wasn't so much. So I was kind of doing that back in the early days, and that got me super into music. It got me working with musicians. And by the time I was through college, I had a film degree. I knew I wanted to do filmmaking, but I also was in love with making music, working with artists. I worked with some, up and coming people that were starting to get pretty big right out of college, like Chris Webby and some other rappers and stuff like that. And yeah, man, like the way I met Mike is I shot him an email. I remember I was living in New York City right out of college. I was living in this piece of shit little 10 by 10 bedroom. My bed was on one side. My desk and like a little recording studio setup was on the other side. And I'd roll out of bed every day and I'd work on music and I'd just email artists to collab with. I'd probably email, 10 to 15 people every day.
Love it.
And like you were saying before, I went on, websites like music blogs, goodmusicallday.com, stuff like that, because there was no, Spotify, any of that shit back then.
Yeah.
And Mike was just one of the guys I saw, and I was like, same way, like I kind of connected with his story and connected with him as a person. And I just shot him an email, sent him some beats, and the rest was history.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Webby. I saw you do. I mean, obviously you've done a lot with Huey Mack, and I saw another cat. Who else did I see that I really liked? He was actually on your page. He was singing a rendition of one of Mike's songs.
44 Phantom, yeah.
Yeah, and Kilmer is fucking murdering the guitar, the acoustic on it, just slaying it, just killing it. But yeah, that's a talented kid right there, man. He's super dope. Webby, man, he's got some ties to home now because a close personal friend of mine, his name's Jelly Roll. I don't know if y'all came in contact with Jelly Roll. He's a real close friend of mine. I've known him 20 plus years, but he recently did a record with Webby, and he was featured on Webby's album, and Webby was featured on his album. But long story short, now it's starting to come back around because Jelly's obviously the upper class of people I know that's kind of in there right now. So I've mentioned you guys to him for years, dude, literally since probably 2015. And now the King and the Sting has got some mixtape coming out or some shit.
Cool.
And Mike's got a feature on there.
Wow.
And it's funny because the following record after the Mike record is the record with Jelly. And then now y'all got plans to come to Nashville. I'm telling you, you're going to cross paths with the dude one day. He's a super cool guy. But I keep begging them motherfucker to reach out to y'all, man, because when them two come in contact, man, it's going to be dangerous. Because it's we're going to make some good shit together, I hope. But
buddy.
Yeah, man. So the beats, man. You made beats for a number of years, and like, are you still making beats? Do you want to make beats, or how's that looking for you?
Yeah. So you mentioned that artist, 44 Phantom. He's actually he got me back into music producing because it's something I do off and on. I only have time to do so much.
Yeah, of course.
I kind of have to just be passionate about it and connect with the artists and all that. And he's just someone. My buddy reached out to me and he's like, "Hey, I'm managing this new artist." He's like, essentially unknown. This was about a year ago, and the kid's an incredible singer. He's young. Yeah. He was 18 or I think he was 17 at the time when we first started working, and just an incredible talent for songwriting, really great voice, and he kind of got me back into the music production side of things for the past year.
Awesome, and you should be in it, man. You're really talented at that avenue too. Because when I went down the Kilmer rabbit hole, like I ran into a lot of records that were just produced by Jon Kilmer, and I gave him my ear for a good 20-30 seconds to cut at least. I mean, I hear it, like the shit's banging, man. So I definitely try to dabble with as much as you can. And with the kid that you're mentioning, the 44 Phantom, is that what it is? My bad.
Yep.
He's like a Black Bear kind of vibe, like a
very much, yep.
Yeah, dude's super sick, man. Super sick artist, dude. If you go to Kilmer's page, you can probably check him out. He's about halfway down amongst the madness. So the first time I saw Kilmer, like I said, I'd already became a fan. I knew of him, knew of the brand, and then I became aware of the YouTube series they had going, and then the television show, etc. And the first time I caught y'all came to Nashville. I've seen y'all twice in Nashville.
Cool.
And the first time you guys came, we did a meet and greet and everything. I got a picture with you. It's on my page. It's funny. I don't have no pictures with no artists that don't anybody local know. But if you go about 3/4 of the way down my page, I got a picture with you, Mike, and then I got one with Josie. But
love it. Yeah,
it was crazy to see her and talk to you now, all because of that. That was fucking years ago, man.
Yeah.
But the first time I saw Kilmer, I kept telling my girl, I'm telling my girl about, and I'm still with her now, but I keep telling her, like, Blue is this and Foley is this and then Kilmer is this and they got this whole shit. It's fucking awesome, blah, blah, blah. Kilmer's the crazy motherfucker to watch. They got to be here. They got to be here. And I remember it was like this fucking countdown or some shit. And all of a sudden Kilmer comes out in a goddamn American flag onesie.
Oh, boy.
Playing what the fuck was it? It was the
national anthem.
Yeah, the fucking national anthem. This kid's fucking strumming a goddamn electric guitar and I'm going ham, dude. Like, he lived for that moment up till the end. And you probably do that at the opening of every show on that tour, probably, huh?
Yep. Yeah.
It's fucking classic, bro. Classic,
that's my real passion right there.
Man, I don't know, dude, because I see you do so many things now, dude. I don't know where, like you said, you wear so many different hats, man. You're just a talented cat all around, man. But your personality, really, man, it starts with that, dog. Like, It's great, man. Somebody needs to fucking put a stamp brand on your ass yourself, man.
Thank you, sir.
So, yeah, goddamn, I used to see these notes, man. They're all over the place. So last night, tell me about last night, man. Tyson, Roy Jones, how'd that go for y'all? Did y'all slow down for that shit?
Yeah, yeah, dude. I mean, we're fans of Tyson just on a personal level because we love his podcast, and
of course.
yeah, man, like we're always watching that, and I just love his whole state of mind right now. You know, he's his interview before the game, he said, you know, he kept saying he likes being uncomfortable. You know, he's comfortable being uncomfortable. Yeah. He kept saying that before the fight, and like I just resonate with that so much, man. And I thought it was a good fight. I mean, obviously, you know, it's kind of a draw, like really,
right?
But you know, as for what it was supposed to be for entertainment, you know, and for what it was a great watch.
Yeah, it was entertaining. They said it like draw, but the numbers came out this morning, and Tyson clearly, I mean, strikes, sure. He was up by like 30, and like power punches, he was up by like 25 or so. So, I mean, it's kind of lopsided at that point. It kind of surprised me that they made it a draw, but yeah, you know, it is what it is, man. And then the Jake Paul knocking dude out. I don't know if dude's woke up yet. That shit was crazy, man. That's not what I expected. I didn't know what to expect from that kid, but at the same time, yeah, poor Nate Robinson, man, because he was talking that big boy shit.
If anything, man, it gave America a lot of good memes, you know?
Right, man. They were all over the place, man. They were fucking flooding it, man. The best one I saw was when they got Jones and Tyson next to each other in the ring. They're about to announce a winner, and Robinson's still laying out there in the background. Fucking crazy. It's just an arrow. It ain't a meme or no. Don't say shit. It's just like a little arrow pointing up, and it shows his ass man.
So entertaining.
Yeah, so it's crazy, man. I was up watching it myself. I just streamed it. Luckily, I didn't pay for the shit, but at the same time, I streamed it and was able to watch it bootleg mode. You know how we do.
Yeah, I think if you're like a diehard boxing fan, you're gonna like hate that whole thing. You're gonna hate that whole event. But you know, if you're just a fan of entertainment, I mean, that was just pure entertainment that whole night.
Yeah, it really was, man. Yeah. So back to you, man, a little bit. I hate to be rambling. I'm kind of all over the place, man.
Ramble, baby. Ramble on.
It's crazy to me because most of the cats I've sat down with so far, they're just sort of Nashville based, and they're cats I've known for a number of years some way or another, or through somebody or something. So when I get a complete stranger, and like I said, man, I'm kind of shaking out of fan mode now. I mean, I'm kind of getting a grip on it all. But I'm just sort of jumping all over the place, man. So follow me if you can.
I got you, man.
Directing. What's up with the movies, man? Like you got a few movies under your belt, right?
I'm working on number 2 right now.
Gotcha. Okay, so you've been involved with how many?
Honestly, just I got in the movie world just one day through like 3 years ago. I'm like, I've always wanted to make films. That's what I went to school for. That's what I wanted to do since I was a kid. There's never going to be like a convenient time to do it, so I just sat down and I did it, you know. And from that moment in 2017, like it probably was like a 2-year process of like writing it, you know, producing it, making it, editing it. It was like a 2-year process. But I fucking did it, you know. That was probably one of my most favorite accomplishments because it's one of the hardest things I ever had to do, you know.
Gotcha.
But yeah, man, that was the first one, and now I'm just you know, took a year to kind of dust like the, you know, because like, dude, it kicked my ass, you know, 2 years working on something, knowing you're probably not going to make, you know, really any money on it. It kicked my ass, you know, but I'm back on the horse. I'm working on the second one. Gotcha.
That's cool, man. That's good to know. Can we get what's a glimpse of the second one? Comedy? Like what kind of genre are you going for as far as?
I'm trying to blend genres a little bit. The first movie was like a little introspective. There's a lot of like, you know, talking about life and stuff like that, which is cool. The next one I wanted to be a little more electric, you know. I wanted to be a little more action on the screen, a little more jump out of your seats, a little more, you know, a little more me, you know.
Gotcha. Cool, man.
I want people to watch it and be like, that's a fucking Kilmer movie, you know. So I'm trying to get my personality out in the movie a little more. It's more of a blending genres, suspense, thriller, comedy, slasher, stuff like that.
Gotcha. Whatever works, man. Just the ambition to keep going with it is dope to me, man. Especially if you had a little bit, but you had some recognition off that first film. Like it wasn't just a total bust. It wasn't just like your friends and family approved of.
No. I don't want to say that. Like, dude, like I'm so blessed to have, you know, the fan base that we all have here. You know, most people can't say they have that, and when it came to like, I crowdfunded the whole movie, and like I brought together the community of our fan base, and I raised, like $20,000, which is incredible.
It's fucking awesome.
I'm so blessed to be able to even do that. And then, yeah, man, thousands of people saw the movie, which is great. And, I had a big premiere in Boston, my hometown. 250 people came out to a theater. Like it was great. It was the best thing I could ever ask for. I just know what I'm capable of and my potential. And like, I look back at that movie as, something I'm proud of, but definitely a stepping stone to something better.
Oh yeah. No, 100%. I totally agree, man. But I did see, I saw the thing you mentioned where you came out, you were behind stage. You did like a Instagram where you're behind stage as they're announcing you, but you hear it. I mean,
that was the Boston premiere. Yeah.
So, yeah, that
was that Boston
sick,
premiere.
Man.
Yeah,
super
that was
sick.
one of my favorite moments in my life, I think.
Yeah, well, you talk about y'all's fan base and how you were able to raise money through y'all's fan base. There's no telling what you guys could achieve through your guys' fan base, man. So let me tell you something else about Kilmer real quick when we're sort of touching on the fan base and their loyalty to sort of their brand and how they rock shit. So they started something, if you don't know, they had a celebrity beer pong tournament, and it was called the Bellina Cup. And let me tell you guys, when I started hearing about the Bellina Cup, and this was probably it was right at the beginning of the pandemic. It's probably like 6 months ago, 8 months ago, something like that. But these cats reached out to and Mike being a pretty successful artist, they were able to reach out to some creditable names and put together this fucking Instagram live beer pong tournament amongst some of our favorite artists, and that shit was super successful. Am I wrong? Or
no, you're right. It was kind of the first of its kind. No one's ever done anything like that, and it was all for charity. We raised a ton of money, and got it to some good people and good foundations. And yeah, man, it was crazy seeing a bunch of those like famous athletes, famous musicians tee up on beer pong, our favorite sport.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy, man. Yeah, me myself, I'm not the beer pong enthusiast, but I love hearing y'all talk. I mean, these guys brand the hell out of shit, man. They got ping pong balls and fucking paddles and all kinds of shit. Like, it's crazy, man. This shit is it's wild. But to mention some of these guys that were involved with the Bellina Cup, let's see, you had Kane Brown. That's somebody here. Everybody knows Kane Brown here. MGK was there. The Nelt Boys were there. Who else we have? You had Gronkowski's girl.
Yep.
I know you are a girl.
Yep. Yeah. Travis Kelce was there.
There you go. Yeah, Travis Kelce. He's a fucking rock star, dude.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, that's awesome. And then like, you guys are gonna do that again, or like,
well,
what's that looking like?
A few things. So I don't know if you saw Post Malone came out with his own celebrity beer pong show. So
I was going there with that next, man. That's because I didn't quite understand that kind of angle. Because we didn't like to be his partner or some shit on it. And
well, we're taking a different approach, and it's something actually we started kind of privately a few months ago, or about a month ago. We're kind of continuing it with the fans. We're creating fan tournaments where fans can buy in. And the winner takes the pot, and the winner gets a free trip to the ranch to play us in person.
Oh, that's fucking sick.
That's something we'd and I just think it's more us to involve the fans, versus just doing celebrity tournaments are great, and like we'll probably do it again if we have an opportunity to raise money for charity.
Yeah.
But as far as a business, I think it's great involving the fans, and we have actually been we kind of trial runned it this month where it was a $200 buy-in. And the winner gets $2,000 and a free trip to the ranch to play us in person on a live pay-per-view. So we've been doing it. The tournament actually just ended. We're about to fly the winner out, in a couple weeks. Gotcha.
And I've probably seen the winner because, like I said, I tune into the Stephen Mingle when they talk about the fan shit. They've got this thing where they do I guess it's sort of like a Patreon from a podcast or something like that, where it's almost like a pay subscription base where they give exclusive content to their fans, et cetera. But they give them an opportunity every other week to literally sit on a Zoom call like me and Kilmer are doing right here. But amongst I'm sure y'all do numbers on that. There's usually a few hundred people in there just waving at you guys, acting silly. But they get females on there exposing themselves. get cats chugging fucking Everclear and some other shit, man. There's some wild cats out there, man.
Yeah, well, we haven't been able to tour for 2 years, so that's kind of our version of tour.
You got to get it, man. And with and when I mentioned a product called the Chug Bud, these guys came up with well, hell, Kilmer, you tell them about the Chug Bud, man. What's the Chug Bud?
Chug Bud is actually we can't take all the credit. One of our fans actually created the product. Talk about having the best fans in the world. One of our fans created a beer chugging device, which is the combination between a beer bong and a chug bud, and I mean a beer bong and a shotgun, and it's probably about 10 inches long. It's something you can travel with, and it's honestly the most efficient way to chug a beer.
It's fucking genius, man. It's a genius product.
One of our fans brought it to Mike, and when it was just launching, and we became very intrigued with the product.
Fuck yeah,
being big drinkers ourselves, and now we're at the point where Mike owns the majority of the company, and
hell yeah,
we're really starting to take off with it.
And they do these like flash drops where they'll drop X amount of product. Man, these things fly out of there. I'm talking about within 3 to 5 minutes, if that, they're gone. I'm thousands of them probably. It's crazy what these guys are able to do from this shit. And when he talks about they like to drink, words can't describe how much these boys put back, man. I swear, man, there's no fucking way. Like the whole win a trip and come to the ranch, bro. I'm not that guy. I'll meet you on Joshua Tree and we can do something out there. But I'm not the God damn. Yeah. I'd get 10 or 12 bills from me and be fucking puking everywhere. I'm not that. I just
no, man. I can relate. I mean, I'm 30 now, and I'm like, fuck. I'm not a young buck anymore.
Right. Trust me, man. I got some years on you. I got plenty on you, dude. So with that being said, I know, man. I know. Look, when you talk about the personal life, so what's up with Kilmer personally, like from a relationship status? Kilmer locked up now, or how's that going through the pandemic? Y'all got women running in and out of there? What's that looking like? You're in a relationship, right?
I'm in a relationship. Yeah, I try to stay out of trouble, but trouble finds me once in a while. But
hey, man,
we're trying to keep it. We're trying to keep it safe over here, and we're in a pretty nice neighborhood in Arizona, so we get run-ins with the cops. We got to keep it kind of low key here and there.
Yeah, of course.
We're still having a good time though.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I couldn't imagine being in a relationship and being around a successful artist like that. I just really couldn't. I mean, salute to you. Must be a very special woman. Salute to her. I got one too, man. I've been with my old lady for 11 years.
Congrats.
Yeah, we go back, and we're still not married. I'm so glad she's not here witnessing this, because she'd chime in right now, dog, for real. But she's huge fans of you guys too, man. Like, she couldn't believe that I locked you in for an interview, and
of course,
one of my daughters is crazy about you guys, man. Like, she'll kill me. Like, I need cool dad points for you run out of here. I gotta let you say hello to her, man.
Hell yeah, man. Of course.
I saw on Twitter from you one time. It's probably like a year ago, where Kilmer said, if at my gender reveal, if I'm having a girl, someone shoot me, bro. You know what you did when you put that out in the world, right? Like,
I'm gonna have a daughter. Yeah, I'm gonna have fucking 10 of them probably.
I got 3 of them. I got 3 kids, man, and they are all female. And dude, I tried to manifest having a boy for years.
God bless you.
I was like, nah, man. God's got a plan for me. I got a boy. He's going to keep my name going. Nah. And then it was round 2, and I was like, this is it. And that first one was foul ball. It's all good. We're going to bounce back. Right? And I got like years between mine. I got a 14-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 7-month-old. So that third one popped up, and I'm like, it's just God's work, man. This shit's got to happen now. Nope. Denied, man. So, yeah, watch your back, bro, because when you get word, if you get your girl on the radar, man, remember you put that fucking tweet out, dog, because that shit's going to come back to you, dude.
Dude, if karma exists, I'm definitely having all girls.
Right. Dude, based off my scenario, I'll co-sign that it definitely exists, man. It definitely exists. Definitely, man.
God's like, I'll show you, motherfucker.
Yeah, bro, and I'm paying for it every day. And they're like, my oldest, the 14-year-old, that's the one that, I mean, she's a Steve, man. She's all about it. She dressed up as a Steve for Halloween. Like,
my God.
It's crazy, bro. It's nuts. She posted it, man. I'm pretty sure she tagged somebody in it, but yeah, she's a great kid, man. But yeah, she's at that age now where it's like fucking weird sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, it's really fucking weird.
Growing up,
growing up. It's just nuts, man. But with that being said, yeah, I had to mention that tweet, dude, because I saw that shit and I was like, yeah, he'll get a load of that, man. He'll love that shit. Right.
Yeah.
So man, the podcast now with Mike, the YNK Podcast, like I said, it's one of my favorite podcasts, man. It's really great. I love y'all's messages there. You're funny as fuck on that shit, man. The guy's references to Pornhub and everything else just randomly is fucking hilarious. I love it.
You gotta talk about what you know.
Right? I ain't mad at you, man. I could talk that talk with you all day, man. We could start our own based off that. And bro, the drop, I'm kind of rambling all over the place, but Johnny Sims, that shit, like I missed that. I didn't see it, and then I heard somebody mention it, I guess on last week's podcast or some shit. I don't know, but I went back and saw it. That's classic, man. That's a fucking classic to reach out to him and have him to give you all that drop. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But so other than the YNK podcast and Nick's success, Mike's starting another one with Johnny Manziel, the former Heisman Trophy winner. Everybody knows Johnny football. But it's called Ball Don't Lie. And I wanted to ask you about Ball Don't Lie only because I was curious if you got your hands in on that as well. Are you producing that on the side and doing drops?
Producing that as well, yeah.
Fucking awesome, dude. That's badass. And that's where you're at right now, right? Is that you're on site with them right now?
Yeah, man, we're in the same city and we're producing that right now. We're just trying to log a couple backlog of episodes before we start putting it out. But we just released our episode with Johnny on our podcast, and dude, when I tell you it's our biggest release so far, it's by a long shot.
I can only imagine. A lot of people would really like to hear what that guy's got to say. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Oh, exactly. Yeah.
The interview him on y'all's behalf first is kind of dope. And anybody from the sports world will obviously look at it and be like they wish they would have spoke more on certain things, et cetera. But to see where Johnny's head's at, man, I mean, he seems like he's being around you guys. It's got to be good vibes. So at the same time, it looks like he's on the right path.
No, he is, man. And, speaking of someone who knows him personally, and, we all know him personally, it's, it doesn't reflect how he's portrayed in public by any means, and I think that this is going to be a good opportunity for people to get to know the real him. And he does have a lot to say. He's one of the most interesting people I know. So
yeah, that's cool, man. I think it's
going to be a good podcast. Mm-hmm.
No, I totally get it, man. Nothing against dude at all. Hell, if I wouldn't have lasted 2 years in the pros if I would have landed into that sort of scenario, man. Like I would have had either an STD or a drug problem within the first 6 weeks of training camp. Like
or both.
Right? Like I wouldn't have showed, missing practices and shit. There's no telling what I would have went through if I would have made it like that, man. But yeah, I was curious though if you were being involved with that as much as you are with the YNK podcast, because don't let the guy dumb it down any. Like Kilmer's heavily involved with YNK, and you're co-hosting every other episode, if not all of them, except when there's a guest. But then you still hear his goofy ass in the background chiming in and shit. So you're right there, man. So to your defense, man, don't sell yourself short.
Thank you.
So talk about the website, man, forthehomies.com. So the website that I see, these guys got a merch game that's fucking crazy. It's bananas. And it trends with their trends. Like if, once they're dropping funny little sayings and cool little shit, they make comments all the time about put it on a t-shirt. Well, they really do. I mean, and I wish y'all do more of that and stick to it, because by the time I go to certain merch, it's gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then y'all get on some other shit and it never comes back. But talk about the website a little bit, man. And do you run the website? You set all that up, or is that somebody else?
No. So I'm the content guy. That's kind of what I do. The podcast,
gotcha.
The videos and stuff. Our other guy Foley, he's the merch guy.
That's it. Yes. So Foley does all the web-based stuff and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, he's the king of the branding, king of the product.
He's really good at it, man.
That's his shit, and I'm honestly, as somewhat of an outsider looking at what they do, it fucking blows my mind, man. Yeah. I don't see any other musicians doing anything even close to that. As far as the amount of products that get put out and the amount of numbers that they do for even the size of an artist that Mike is. It's kind of like they're operating like Barstool almost, but as like a single entity. It's incredible.
Yeah, but to your point, man, y'all's team is built almost perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Like even if there isn't a specific role or a title per person, it's put together where it just flows. I don't know how often you guys are screaming at each other or anything like that, but at the same time, it looks to work pretty fucking good. So that independent road just seems real bright for you guys, man. So I know. I hate to touch on Mike so much, man, because we're not talking. Mike's not here.
Dude,
you're
so
right. In tune with that brand. You're like such a part of that guy's brand.
I have the best perspective of them all. So go ahead. It's all good.
I could only imagine. So I've been a huge fan of Mike, dude. I found dude's music and it was immediately hooked. And here we are 7-8 years later, and the whole time I've been involved with y'all's journey. It's sort of my same scenario with you, because I've grown to be a huge fan of yourself just as a person, man. I mean, that's why sitting here with you today was kind of nerve-wracking to me at first, but I mean, you're just another guy, you know what I'm saying? But it
just a guy,
right? But from the fan aspect of it, man, it's fucking wild. But Mike's whole deal that you guys have been independent from the jump, correct? Like from the start.
Yes,
and you did a lot of producing for him early on, and then that sort of fell off, or you still dibble dabble with his producing as well, or?
No, like I'll always be like an extra ear to help out, but that was definitely early on. Early on, I was an incredible asset for any up and coming musician, because I was an audio engineer, I was an audio producer, I was a videographer. I could get a lot of shit done where you don't have to drop all this money on a whole bunch of different people. So I think that's in the early days, that's kind of the role I filled, and since then Mike started working with, people like Louis Bell and, big producers. And I kind of got to sink in more into the content role.
Yeah. And then, so you mentioned Louis Bell. Yeah. It seems like everything I hear Mike do with Louis Bell is just perfect fit. Like the vibe's always right. Like it seems like them two right there together is just a whole different level. I don't know.
Even those two haven't really done much in a couple of years. I
already know. Yeah. It seems like shit back with like Paranoid Remix. A lot of those kind of they're the ones that like immediately pop out to me that I can remember. But dude's catalog is fucking huge, man. I mean, Mike's got a lot of songs. He's put a lot of material.
9 years of material.
Right. And what's crazy though is I know that cat has probably 3 or 4 years on deck, just ready to rock.
You don't even know the half of it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, man. Like, because my character is that I'm the guy that sort of, I got an idea. Like, you guys mentioned the board, and I've been in those scenarios around people with a board. You know what I'm saying? And people that run merch sites and people that have show bookings and that do things all the time. Like, it's crazy because you guys ain't part of that normal circle that I deal with. But the label thing being, you guys have been independent from the jump, and I guess For the Homies has that always been the title of y'all's little LLC, or how's that work? No,
for the past couple of years, we just kind of branded it as that. So that's just kind of what it's known as now. We never really branded it before that. It was just like, Mike had an LLC and we kind of worked out of that. But now they're branding it as, For the Homies.
Yeah, which is dope. And that's 4 THE homies for you guys that can't fucking catch that wave. But at the same time, I gotta ask, man, and I can cut this out. I really can. But I noticed on the last 4 records, so he's formerly known as Mike Stud, and then he switched his name to Mike upon rebranding himself, and with almost talks of a contract, like he was going to go major or he was going to do something else other than For the Homies LLC, so to speak, correct? Mm-hmm. And he dropped 2 records initially when he switched to Mike, and they were under Electric Feel Records, and I know what Electric Feel Records is.
Yeah.
To a point. And then the last 2 records, the Rodman and the latest record, The Little More Time, those are back on For the Homies. So I didn't know if that had something to do with, did that fall through, or is like, what's that looking like?
No, you just, we had to make a big, I didn't, Mike had to make a big decision, and Electric Feel was, his management label that they were dealing with. They've been doing his management for years.
Gotcha.
And you just had, he had to make a decision as if, the percentage he was paying out was worth, what they were doing for him and, what the outcome was. And I think he came to the conclusion that, we're good on our own, and we're like right now, completely independently, we can do it without having to pay out a percentage to someone else.
I totally agree. I totally agree with that, man. The whole thought of him going major was like I didn't really know how to take it just for I'm a huge fan of the music would work, like regardless. And being so close to Post that he is, I thought it would work if Post sort of pulled him along and they were more like side by side, so to speak, his next tour, if Mike's opening up or something like that, then sky's the limit. But the independent shit works so good for you guys. I think when you guys moving and then starting to get more in tune with a few different genres, because a lot of Mike's shit's more soft feel country stuff here lately. It's not, it could fall into that category easy. Like it could really transition to that type of genre, so to speak, if you would. If you could, what I'm trying to say.
No, you're right. He just got on like a Spotify Nashville playlist the other day.
I saw that. That's crazy.
Like
that's super crazy.
And if you told me that 5 years ago, Mike's going to be on a Spotify Nashville playlist, I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. I think it's dope, though. It's super dope. Yeah. It's dope for them. For you guys coming back here to the city eventually, man, it's dope. And I'm sure you guys got hella ties along Music Row already. Because y'all are associated with a few country artists here in Nashville already.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, speaking of the Belina Cup, we didn't mention Morgan Wallen was in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Morgan Wallen and Hardy were in there, fucking dynamic duo. But yeah, I mean, Mike and him were talking, and I think there's going to be a lot of fun collaborations, in the near future.
Yeah, and Morgan Wallen, hell, I think his album came out Friday, or it comes out next Friday or something. He's got a new album coming. I know that. He's got a new single out right now. But yeah, shout out to Morgan Wallen. Dude's super dope. I think
fucking rock star, man.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Dude really is, man. So, all right, man. I like I said, dude, I don't want to keep you too long, man. But I got a few. We'll do a quick little questions type scenario for Kilmer. I want you to try to answer some shit for me, quick as you can, without thinking about it too much. It's not too off the wall, but at the same time, we'll go with who's your favorite person in LA?
My favorite person in LA?
Yeah, that's not part of the camp.
Like,
who you gonna miss most?
Who am I gonna miss most? Man, I probably had like a handful of friends. Man, we had so many friends. I don't want to single out one person.
You ain't gonna hurt nobody's feelings on my weak ass podcast. There's a fucking handful of friends. I can only imagine, man.
I can't imagine. Not a lot of them. They're few and far between. It's very hard to meet true, genuine people in Los Angeles, in that motherfucking city. But there was a tight knit group of people that I'm going to miss very much. I'll leave it at that.
Gotcha. So, producing music, directing movies. Which one do you like better?
Oh, damn you! That's been my fucking struggle since fucking 12 years ago, man. Right. Dude, see, you're asking complicated questions and you want quick answers. That's
hey man, pick your poison. You know what I'm saying?
That's like saying ass or tits. Like, what am I? That's probably your next question. These are questions that can't be answered. Man, that answer is going to change on different days of the week.
That's fine.
I think I'd choose directing movies because it's the harder for me to accomplish. So
gotcha.
Okay. It's a bigger challenge. So I'll choose directing movies.
Gotcha. Probably bigger check too if you work it right. So I didn't catch you yesterday, so I can't ask you Tyson or Roy, and I don't know what your answer would have been, but I would have asked you Tyson or Roy who was going to win that last night. But we both know how that went down. So I'll go with the last one, man. Truly's or Claws, man. Or y'all got somebody local that does some drinks out there too that you guys are fans of.
Yeah. We're kind of a High Noon family now. We love the High Noons, the vodka seltzers. But our buddy has a brand called Nude Seltzers, which they're not everywhere, but nudes are great too. But if I had to pick, I got to go Claws. I got to go, the OG seltzer.
Yeah, I'd probably lean that way too if it comes down to it, man. I can't complain about the Claws. I used to be a beer guy, man. Then I sort of like with the kids, I stopped drinking as much. Like I'll come home and smoke. Like I don't drink like that. I really don't. But I'll drink socially, and it feels like every time I drink a beer nowadays, I just want to fucking throw up. So the Claws are more like up my lane nowadays, but
yeah, they're
so fucking watered down. They're dangerous.
I know, man. They go down like water.
Yeah, that's the scary thing, man. So before I let you out of here, man, what's next for you, dude? What's the next goal for Kilmer in 2021, man? Like, what are you aiming for if we can make it through the remainder of this year? What are you trying to accomplish in 2021? You personally?
Me personally. I got my eyes on launching the Ball Don't Lie podcast. I got my eyes on my music production career with 44 Phantom, and I got my eyes on movie number 2, which I hope to shoot in 2021, end of 2021.
Gotcha, man. Yeah, let me get a roll, man. Send me a script because I can shape it up, man. I can be in there however you want me to be there.
Get that cameo in there for you,
man. Whatever I got to do, man. Whatever I got to do. So no future new podcast from Kilmer himself. You ain't leaning down this road with the rest. You just gonna stay behind the scenes a little bit, or
dude?
Got to meet the right partner, or what?
As long as I got involvement in artists, I just don't see a reason to. And there's only so many hours in the day, and I got to put my energy. Got to put my energy towards what I got on the table now. So that's what I'm doing.
Well, dude, with all that being said, Kilmer, man, for real, I know you're a busy guy, dude, and the fact that you were able to sit down with me and have this conversation, man, like I'll forever be indebted and thankful to you, man. Because even if I don't post it, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the realest shit ever, bro, that you took the time, because you guys literally have motivated me to get off my ass and do something during this time. Like it's truly because of you guys, man. You guys have been a true inspiration to me, man. And I appreciate it.
Dude, anytime. Seriously. We'll do this again whenever you want. Awesome,
man. Well, with all that being said, man, I got some shit to say, man. Y'all, shout out to my guy, Jon Kilmer, man. John, I appreciate your time again, man. You guys come back to Nashville, let me know. Hit me up, man. Hit my Instagram or something, man. I'll put you guys in tune with the correct people, so to speak. So,
hey, pending this virus, maybe we can do an episode in person.
Fuck yeah, I'm totally down, man. I'm totally down. You guys take care, man. Be safe, and again, man. Until next time, my friend. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you for having me, brother. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man.
Have a good one, man.
So, man, that was super cool, man. Just the fact that the dude stepped through the show like that. Yeah, forgive me, man. I was in fan mode for a little while, but with all that being said, man, y'all know what it is. I'm going to step off this thing for a minute, man, but I got some shit to say. The podcast, man, if you didn't catch this episode, tune in next time. If you didn't catch that one, go to the one before this one. Man, until next time, man, Squints, I got some shit to say. I'm out.